All right, it's the Bob and Billy show, and Bob, playoffs are coming up, and you were telling me not long ago this is a different kind of playoffs when it comes to the world of betting.
Well, this what makes this playoff unique, and thank goodness, I haven't wagered in 12 years, but I wagered for 40 years plus that on sports, and you have the AFC is Kansas City against New England, and the home team is Kansas City, and Kansas City's favored by 3 points, and the over/under is 56. In the NFC, New Orleans playing Los Angeles. The home team is New Orleans. They're favored by 3, and the over/under is 56.5. So they're almost exactly the same. And the pick for the Super Bowl is pick. There's not a favorite.
Oh, wow.
So this is never, all of these stars having a line like this, I don't think ever. Which means, in theory, Billy, they should be great football games. This should be great. The Super Bowl should be great. And,
And that's for people that bet or people that don't bet.
that people that don't bet will probably have more fun than the people that bet.
That's right, because the people that bet, it sounds to me, it's very close, and, as a compulsive gambler myself, I could see falling into a trap.
Well, in theory, there are no traps in the game this close, okay?
Okay.
However, the big trap is you can do these things called parlays.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, do you know what a parlay is in football, Billy?
Yeah.
What is it?
Okay, so the way that I
It's
did
a
it.
teasers. I'm sorry, it's not a parlay. It's a
Okay, I'm
teaser.
sorry. No, I wasn't doing teasers.
Okay,
But I did parlays at the time.
Okay. Well, parlays are really they're not bright bets either, but the
No,
teasers,
and hey, I'm not I was not bright when I was actively gambling.
well, and teasers are just that. They're teasing you into a bad bet, okay?
Right?
So if I told you right now that you could bet on Kansas City plus 7, you could bet on New England plus 13, you could bet on the Rams plus 7, 3-team teaser. All three have to win, Billy.
Yeah.
But you would assume with those extra 10 points that they would all win because they're all so close. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll guarantee you one of these games, either on the over-under or the total thing, it'll be a blowout. There'll be a low-scoring game or a really high-scoring game.
Right.
You just can't, basically, you get a lot more fun out of just watching these games.
Right.
Because one or both games might be very good. One or both over-unders, but you don't care about over-unders, okay? Unless you're gambling, what do you care?
Yeah.
I mean, my wife likes to see scoring, okay? So she always wants them to score every time they have the thing, and somebody kick a field goal in overtime, okay? And then she's happy. That's when she's happiest.
So she didn't really appreciate that double dink that happened in Chicago. The post.
No, she didn't. No,
The post.
The post. No.
I don't think Chicago liked it very much either.
No, but Chicago's not there anymore.
That's right.
They one and done.
Yes.
But that was, that's old news.
That's
And then Philadelphia got beat anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really make any difference.
Yeah.
But it's, we have this love affair, if you will, about watching sports, and once it becomes legal, which we fear, it's already legal in quite a few states.
Betting on the sports.
Betting on
yes.
sports is legal. And once that happens, you're going to have more of these teaser bets, more of these parlays, all of these things, and it's become more of a problem.
Right.
Okay? You have, right now, it's about the fun. You have a lot more fun when you're not betting on sports. If you enjoy sports and you want to watch sports, you have a lot more fun that way. I'm a big UVA fan.
Oh, I've been at some of the games you were at.
Yeah. So,
Bob starts yelling at me, but it's fun.
but it's also, it's if you, I was at a game. We were playing Florida State this year, and at the end of the game, Tony Bennett put in all these subs, the manager, et cetera, and the coach at Florida State pressed them, and we were up by 28, and we ended up winning by 13, I think, or 12 or 13. Well, the same thing happened to me back in Ralph Sampson's glory days. That Terry Holland pulled out everybody, and that's when I was gambling.
Right.
Okay,
And you were not very happy,
I was
I'm
not
sure.
very happy. They were up at like 19, and I'd given like 8, and they cut it to 7, and I lost. And I was livid, just absolutely livid, and it ruined the game for me. I couldn't enjoy. You can't enjoy it when you basically have money on it.
Right.
Not as much as you can enjoy it when you don't. When you're a fan, when you can appreciate just the game, just how good they are, how hard they're all trying. You can get mad at the official because they made a bad call, but it's not a bad call that's going to cost you money.
Right.
That's when you get incensed, and it's just, I have a hard time believing that I used to gamble on all these games and getting any enjoyment out of it at all. Mm-hmm. The stress is too much. It's just not, and especially, college basketball. I just love college basketball. And I really just, watching two great teams play is a lot of fun. Like tomorrow, Virginia plays Duke, okay? At Cameron Indoor Stadium. That's their home field. And it'll be a great game. And I'll be watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And
you won't be betting on it.
Hell no, I won't.
Billy and Bob don't bet anymore. So when you heard the talk about the lines and all that, we're just making a point about why you want to stay away from it, because we're not.
You don't want to get in, but even as an old gambler, I find it interesting to know what the line is, just to see how close the game's going to be. And it's not everybody can do that.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
A lot of gamblers can't do that and shouldn't do that.
I don't do it.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
And a lot of gamblers, especially in early recovery, really can't do that.
Right.
So but it's kind of like if you've been doing something for a long time, you get some pleasure out of knowing who's the favorite, who's the underdog, how well they're doing. But it's especially true for me with college basketball, because I want to know, I follow not just Virginia, because Virginia, you've got the AP poll, you've got the coaches poll, you've got the NET poll, you've got Ken Palm, and you've got Sagarin.
That's a lot of polls.
You got Ken Palm, you got Sagarin.
Yeah.
Okay, Ken Palm and Sagarin are guys that predict, based upon computer models, who the best teams in the country are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the big poll is the AP poll. That's the one everybody kind of quotes. And so I like to know how analytically, I just like to know. And it's because, like right now, they're 5 polls. Virginia's number 1 in 4 of them. We're number 4 in the AP. So whenever you see stuff, we're like number 4. Okay? But the coaches poll, who do you think has more sense, Billy? The coaches or reporters?
I think the coaches, Bob.
Bingo. Okay?
Yeah.
That's not a tough question. That's not a trick question.
Yeah.
And the AP is done by newscasters, broadcasters, sports writers. Sports writers is what it really is. And the coaches poll is done by coaches. And Virginia's 1 in the coaches polls and 4 in the AP poll. sports rights. So you can't always believe all of this stuff, but it's kind of like it gives you something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to the final, you get to the March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournament. Well, it's always this intrigue: who's going to be seeded one? Who's going to get this? Who's going to do that? Or like in college football, we have 4-team playoff. Who's going to get in that 4 team? So it gives you a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to argue about, and I think it's going to be diminish it when they add more.
When you're talking about the betting.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about when you add teams to the playoffs.
Oh, I see.
So right now you've got 4. They're talking about taking it to 8. And the same thing happened in college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't really about gambling. It's about what makes sports cooler without gambling, probably.
Yeah.
Okay? Like when, back in the dark ages when I was in college, only one team from the ACC made it to the NCAA. One. Whoever won the ACC tournament. And the last year I think it was 16 teams maybe then. And the last year was 16 teams. NC State was playing Maryland. And it was the best college basketball game I ever saw. Was the finals of the ACC tournament in Greensboro. And it was like double overtime. And NC State won, and Maryland came in second. And Lefty Drizel, I don't know if you remember Lefty, but Lefty was this coach back then. He was quite a character. And Lefty, the NIT was a big tournament then, a real big tournament. And Lefty says, I've got the second best team in the country, and I'm not going to play in the blank NIT. So he didn't play it. The next year they expanded it from 16 to 32, and then they eventually expanded it again. But that was just a great game, that game that they lost. And NC State ended up winning the national championship, and that was the closest game they played during that era. I mean, that year. And they had a great team. I mean, it was. But college basketball, to me, I just love college basketball. And I've gotten to love it a lot. I enjoy it more, not gambling on it. So the thought of gambling on it, and it's kind of like making it dirty in a way.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel like about the NFL now. I like watching an NFL game a lot more now than I ever did when I would bet on them.
Well, I have a question for you, Bill.
Yeah.
You were a horse player, right?
At the end, yeah.
Okay.
Last few years.
Okay. When's the last time you watched a horse race?
I never watch horse races, Bob.
That was going to be my point. Did you
I
really?
never, ever watch a horse because I don't want to see it.
I understand that.
I don't want to see it.
But what I'm saying is, did you ever love horse racing?
Yeah, I did. I did. I did it.
I mean, just watch. Could you?
Oh, you mean love like where I would want to watch it just to watch a horse race?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I want to watch numbers come across the line.
I understand you want to have some action.
That's all it was.
That's some action.
I'm just glad to be away from it.
I understand.
No, I don't watch horse races.
Well, see, it's like,
I understand your point, though, for sure.
I play golf, and I love to play golf, okay? And I used to gamble an insane amount on the golf course. Insane. But I could still play for nothing. I loved the game. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I was with, the college basketball and college football, and to a lesser degree, the NFL. NBA I didn't bet on it because it was crazy. And I didn't bet on the horses because that was even crazier. No offense, Bill.
No, hey. It's true.
I did bet on baseball, which I hated, and I lost every year. For 30, 40 years. I lost every year.
Yeah.
And I bet on baseball, which I hated. If you said, Bob, I'll give you tickets to the World Series, and it's the Yankees against the Dodgers, I'd say keep them. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go.
That's just not your thing.
Like if I said, Billy, you have to go to a horse track and just watch the horses.
No, thank you.
You wouldn't have done that when you were gambling.
No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have.
So you had a love for gambling.
Yeah.
Whereas with the NFL, you have a love for the sport,
Right.
okay? And you might have bet on it back then, but you weren't obsessed with betting on it for
Right.
making any sense.
Right. Oh, yes.
I was basically an habitual gambler. I bet every day. As long as there's some sporting event, I basically bet on it. Sometimes in the year there weren't one every day, but it wasn't very many months, Billy. It was one every day. When you got baseball, college basketball, college football, and pro football, there are not many weeks that don't have something every day.
Right.
Every day. So we have an exciting weekend this week, and I know you'll enjoy it because you.
I will. I will
enjoy-
watch those games. Yeah.
And I will probably watch them. I know I'm going to watch Virginia and Duke. Okay, that I know I'm going to watch. Okay.
The only thing that we know for sure is neither one of us are going to bet on any of it. So
that's
the guarantee.
Okay,
that's the lock.
That's the lock. That's the lock of the weekend. That's the lock of the weekend. And we will not be betting on these games. That is the lock
That
of
is
this
true.
weekend.
That
That
is
is
true.
the lock of the weekend.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, good to talk to you, Billy.
Nice talking to you,
And-
Bob.
And we'll be back together next week. Next Friday, hopefully we'll get this thing done. And I'm going to be in sunny Barbados, and you're going to be here in the cold.
Yes, and I'm gonna do this show just like we
We're
do.
going to split the screen. It's going to be cool.
It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. Now, we don't know how we're doing it yet, but we're going to figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We have a week. I mean, come on. Come on. Yeah,
That's 168 hours.
You sure about that, Billy?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
24 times 7. Get your calculator out.
I can figure that in my head, Billy. Numbers are not my problem.
That's
Okay. My problem used to be thinking I could understand the numbers and the odds. That was the big problem.
That's right.
But those days are behind us, thank God. Good to talk to you, Billy.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.